Hey, this is Neil. I'm going to give you a walkthrough how to assemble your Excalibur chainsaw the way I'm doing them now. A lot of the process has changed, so if you've never put a chainsaw together before, I'm going to walk you through it. It's easy, and kind of give you some pointers on things to do and not do when putting your Excalibur together. Now they all come, even my skin and bone replicas, they come in a case. On the top, it'll be numbered, signed by myself. It's an extra layer of protection when I'm shipping them. Once you get it, you probably, you might want to keep the box around. You don't have to, because you're going to assemble it and it'll never fit back in the box. It'll come like this. Inside is going to be your certificate of authenticity, as well as your Excalibur saw. Now it'll be packaged up, it'll be bubble wrapped the first time you get it, but it fits nicely in there so it doesn't shake around. Also, so just shipping a cardboard box, sometimes the mail, they get kind of rough, and didn't want any, I've never had any problems, but I didn't want anything punctured through, jabbing, messing up the saws. So that's why I went to these. Like I said, it's included in the price, comes like this. Also included, it may not be in this nice little package here. It may be in its own separate bag, depends on the availability and what I can get at the time. All the tools that you're going to need for this. The only thing that you're going to need extra that I don't include in this kit is some kind of gloves. The reason why I wear them, and I suggest that you wear them when you put your saw together, oil and grease from your fingers will tarnish and mess up the painted parts, okay? Your painted parts is anything made of plastic. This top cover, the fuel tank, this handle back here, that's the only, and the side cover on the other side, that's the only plastic parts. This is metal. Now it's bare aluminum, so it will tarnish as well from the oil from your hands. So that's why I suggest wearing some gloves. Same goes with your bar. This is fully polished out. This will ship separate, either in a flat cardboard box or a tube. Just again, depends on what I have available at the time when you make your order and I get them all finished. It'll come separate, and your chain for the bar will come probably in this box, maybe in the tube for the saw, and as well as packaged up inside with your Excalibur will be the dog spikes, the kind of goldish bronze looking spikes that go on. This is all you got to do to install them, and all the tools, all the equipment, a little bag with the screws, all included. So this is going to be simple, easy. Let me pull this out of the box and get it set up, and I'll walk you through it. Alright, we got our saw out of the box. What you're going to do is take your T-handle wrench right here, the chainsaw tool I always call it. You have to excuse my dogs, they're dumb and they bark at the sky for no reason. This won't be super tight, just I tighten it up enough so it doesn't rattle or have a chance of coming off during shipment. Take those two nuts off, pull your side cover off. Set this aside for now. We're going to put on our back dog spike, what I call dog spikes. I'm not sure what the terminology is for all this. I'm not a logger. So I'm sure there's some guys who run chainsaws every day who are loggers who are probably going to watch us and cuss at me and yell at the screen. You don't know what you're talking about. You're calling it the wrong thing. Well, you'd be right. I'm kind of just got my own names for everything. Alright, take this spike. We're going to put it like this, okay? What I found is the easiest way to do it, in your little baggie, I open that up and then you can explain it. In your little baggie, there's going to be two little gold screws and nuts. Lay that aside for now. That's going to go on this side cover. Then there's going to be silver ones. Okay, there's a short one, I about dropped it. There's a short one with a nut already on it, and a longer one, okay? Your longer one is going to go in the bottom hole. There's two holes down here. There's a larger one and a smaller one. This screw is going to go in the smaller one. You're going to want to tilt the saw kind of on its side, and we're going to just hand start this screw. Now it's got some Loctite on it. There we go. The reason why I just hand tighten it and just get it started is that's going to give us room to kind of maneuver this. Because then that dog spike is going to go on the inside. Let me move this camera around here. So you can see a little bit better. See how it's going on the inside by the muffler? That's what we want. It's easiest if this is a little bit loose, or a lot loose as I have it now. You're going to take your nut off of that other shorter one. Go ahead and slide that short screw through and through the dog spike, and hand tighten this nut on there. Now, I fibbed to you earlier when I said you will have all the tools. The only thing extra you're going to need is either an 8mm wrench, end wrench. If you don't have one of those, you can use just a pair of pliers. What we're going to do with that is hold that nut still from turning. Okay? In your package of tools, it may include two different little star wrenches here. What you're going to do is find the one that fits. It is a 30, okay? One's a 30, one's a 27. I don't believe they're marked anywhere. 27, you can do what you want. The 30 is what we're going to use here though, okay? Start with the bottom. Let me get this on the edge. Can you still see that here? We're going to go ahead and run that up all the way. Now be careful, because these dog spikes are painted, and just like the silver on the plastic parts of the body, it's not clear coated or anything. Clear coating these changes the looks of it. It doesn't look like it did from the film. So they're bare paint. And it's kind of, I would say, fragile paint, because it will tarnish from the grease. It will scratch fairly easy. But if it's just sitting on your shelf and no one's touching it, it'll look great. If you want to get it down and touch it and play with it, it looks well used, and which also looks pretty damn cool. Alright, now we got that inside dog spike on. Easy, easy. Next one, grab your side cover. The other dog spike is actually technically upside down. I was informed by a logger. Okay, this one takes the two little gold screws. Take the nuts off. You will see when you get them, the nuts are ground down. That's because they need to fit inside here. What's easiest to do, go ahead and drop one nut in. Hope that you can see this. I'm not off camera all the time. Hold the dog spike on there as your finger is holding the nut up. Go ahead and start screwing down. This little screwdriver that comes with your kit. You can use it. I suggest using it, but you can also, you can use a big one if you feel you have more control. Got that one. Now, flip it back over. Drop that other nut in. Maybe. Of course I'm filming, so it's not going to cooperate. Might have to take this little screwdriver and guide it. There we go. Now, push it down on your finger so it's staying in there flat. Line the hole up. Go ahead and screw it down. Again, be careful so you don't slip off and scar up the paint, scar up the brass. We don't want that, unless you want a well-used Excalibur look. Alright, that side cover is done. Next up, I'm going to put the chain on the bar. Take your chain out of the box. This one came out perfect. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they're going to be wadded out and have little, see those little knot things? The easiest way to take care of those, if it comes out that way, take it to a table and lay it flat and work on it from there. If you try to work those out, hanging, you know, holding it like this, man, you're going to frustrate yourself. You're going to be upset. You're going to cuss me. And probably say some words that your wife and kids don't need to hear. So the easiest way, lay it flat, work them out that way. Once it is all worked out, grab your bar. Now this is going to take your time with this, all right? Again, this is bare aluminum, polished out. This is I can no longer offer chrome because I can't find a chrome shop to chrome aluminum for a decent price anymore. They're pretty much all closing down. Hold your bar up and you're going to start, hold it kind of at a, here let me face this way, you're going to hold it kind of at an angle to keep the bottom of your chain from slapping the side of the bar. We're going to just start it in the groove of the bar, okay? Now see how it's just hanging there by itself? Turn back this way. Now, go ahead and start working from the top, putting either side into the groove of that bar. This ginormous chainsaw bar. These are custom made, by the way. This is nothing is pre-made on this. This starts as a big chunk of billet 661 that I cut shaped like a bar, put the holes in it. I have a little jig where I put the groove in it, and then I pass it off to my engraver who does a killer job of putting the Saws Family script in it. And then my polisher, another professional at the top of his game that does an awesome job polishing these out. Once you get it on there, kind of hold it as I am here. You're going to do your best. You're going to want as much slack down here as you can get. Okay? We're going to start this chain on the sprocket and watch for these two bolts sticking out. They're going to go through that slot. See that long oval slot? They go through the bar there. So get it there, push it all the way back, and you should be able to get your chain on that sprocket. I don't have my chain quite right in my hands. I think I'm slipping. If you are, if you can't get it, see what I'm doing here? See all this extra slack? We don't want that. Let it go, let it fall back into that groove. Okay? Stay in there, baby. This is probably the most frustrating part, but if you take your time, it's easy. Okay, I hope I'm not in the way here. I'm going to try it from this side. Again, slide the front of the bar over that bolt. Get your chain down on the sprocket. At the same time, once it's on there, you might just let it sit, okay? I don't know if you can see all the way. There you can. We're going to do our best to get this chain back into the groove of the bar. It's going to make our life a lot easier here in a bit. There we go. Now we're in. That little nub I told you about that moves the chain back and forth, that goes through the bottom hole in that, on that bar. That adjusts your bar forward and backwards, takes the tension, the slack out of the chain. We're going to go ahead and take your T-handle wrench again, and we're going to turn clockwise. Okay, as we get a little bit closer, watch your chain. See how the chain's coming up? What we're going to do is guide it back into the groove of the bar. So take a half a turn, a full turn, check it, help guide it back up in. Take a little bit more, guide it back up in. What you're wanting to keep it from doing is sliding off of the bar completely, and you'll have to start over because it'll pull the bar off of the body off of these bolts. You can also make sure that it's resting on there and kind of flat up against the saw body. There we go. You don't want to pull it super, you don't want to have a lot of tension on it, because then your bar is going to start trying to peel off towards this, towards yourself. So just get it to where the chain is tied up against the bar all the way on it, okay? Then take your side cover again, put it on there, take your two nuts, because everyone's got two nuts. Well, not everyone. Most everyone's got two nuts. Start them. Okay, once they're both butted up against there, take your T-handle again. We're just going to go just a little bit, just a quarter turn at a time. Back and forth. What we're doing is pulling that side cover evenly up against your saw body. Now, don't go all the way tight, because then we're going to just double check and make sure, yeah, see our chain, once you move it a little bit, it's got a little bit of slack. We're going to go ahead and pull that out of it. Put the flathead screwdriver end of the T-wrench in that hole and turn counterclockwise just a little bit to take that tension out. Then go ahead and tighten these two nuts all the way up. Your Excalibur is done. Hang it on the mantle. Put it in your display. Hell, take it to conventions. Every one of these I take the clutches out of. So you can, technically, if you wanted to, which I do not suggest because you'll never get it as clean as it is when it arrives to you, you can put fuel in it and you can run it. Unless you specified you wanted it gutted, you don't want anything inside. Which I will do if you request that. But I take the clutches out, so the guys that want to use them, you can put the gas in, you can pull that, and it'll run. The chain won't move though. The reason why is because, like I said, this is a custom-made aluminum bar that I make. If that chain moved, it would destroy that bar in under a minute. Then the other thing, every few months you might run some wax over your bar to keep it waxed up so it doesn't tarnish, especially if you live in an area where there's a lot of humidity. If you live by the ocean and stuff, you might want to do that once a month to keep it looking like it's chrome plated. You can use some Mother's Metal polish on it, or just even like some Carnauba car wax. You can use that on there. For the brass pieces, what I like to use is this. It's called Eagle One Never Dull. It comes in some batting stuff. You just pull a little piece off. It doesn't take much, just a little bit. Rub it on there, and then take a brand new. This is not clean, so don't do what I say, not what I do. Take a brand new microfiber cloth to wipe that off. Now, if you are using this, do not get this anywhere near the plastic parts. It will take that paint off. So that's why I said use it very sparingly, just a little bit, and don't even try to get it on clear to the edge, okay? Use that on all of the actual brass metal pieces. The dog spikes, don't touch those. The plastic painted parts, I can't stress enough, don't polish or try to wax those. If they get any smudges on them, to be honest, it's best just to leave them on there, because if you get a rag with some soap or something and try to work that out, you could potentially damage it. Okay, if you do damage it, if something happens, I've fixed guys' top covers and stuff that have taken them to conventions, and you know, an overzealous, excited fan, oh wow, and just puts his greasy French fry fingers on there. I will, for a little cost, restore it for you, get it back looking as it was when you first got it. But overall, that's it. Like I said, it's easy. If you have any questions, comments, be sure to email me, send me a message, however you want to contact me. I'll reply as soon as I can. And enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Thank you.